Hi everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a really long time since I've done a floss tube, so thank you for hanging in there with me and waiting patiently. It has been a very busy past month. Went to the Great British Sampler Weekend, and I just can't even begin to say how much fun that actually was. I knew it would be fantastic, but actually getting there, seeing everybody, participating in the activities was just an amazing time. Nicola, Michelle, and the whole crew just outdid themselves. Everything down to the tiniest detail was thought out to where it was just a perfect retreat. So I am so appreciative for all the hard work that I know they put into making it just a wonderful time for all of the stitchers that were there. Great speakers. A fantastic project. I'm not going to show you all the goodies because I know there have been so many floss tubes that have already shown all the goodies that we got, and I'm a little late to the game to show all that, so I won't drag all that out. And besides that, I'm on the road again, so I just wanted to briefly mention that it was an absolutely wonderful retreat. And if you get a chance to sign up for 2025, I believe they're going to have it again in England. Next year is at Hobby House, and I think that's already a done deal. But in 2025, I think they're having it back in England again. So if you get a chance to attend either one of them, I would sign up because it really was worth every penny. And just, it was so much fun to visit with stitchers from everywhere and do the thing that we all love to do, which is stitch. So that's my little update on the Great British Sampler Weekend. I spent a little bit of time ahead of time over there and was able to see some things in London that I'd never seen before. Then I spent a little bit of time after the retreat with my friend Mary Susan, and we did the Cotswolds. So we kind of saw the busy, hectic city part of it. And then after the retreat, we were able to just explore the countryside, which was absolutely beautiful. I will tell you a funny. We rented a car, and Mary Susan and I both have driven on the opposite side before, so that was okay. We really weren't nervous about that part. But the car they gave us was a little Mini Cooper, and oh my heavens, we're both tall girls, and I felt like we were sitting on the ground. We got the little Mini Cooper, and somehow or the other managed to get all of our luggage in it and all of our stitching supplies and headed out. Well, we were going to go to this village one day, and lo and behold, there was road construction. I think there's road construction. I don't care if it's in Conway, Arkansas, or if it's in London, England. There's road construction everywhere that I've ever been. And had a detour sign. So I thought, oh my goodness, if it was at home, I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with the detour at all. But here, we're really thinking we need to be on that road and we can't get on it. So we followed the detour sign, which was this little bitty one single track road, just a little bitty one-laner. And we're going down the road. It's Mary Susan's driving. She's doing a fantastic job, by the way. And all of a sudden, we see 4 hikers. The first people we've seen for miles. I mean, we were in the boonies, the true boonies. There was nothing around. And we meet this huge truck. I guess he was having to take the detour too, because I can't imagine a truck that size being on that little one-lane road in normal conditions. And so we're like, well, we have to get in the ditch. He can't get in the ditch. So we pulled off onto this grassy area on the side of the road. The hikers had moved off of the road as well to let this truck pass. And everything was fine. The truck went on by us. And as we started up to get back onto the highway, there was a hole in the grass. We couldn't see it. And that little tiny BMW front tire went right down in the hole. Our car wouldn't go forward, it wouldn't go back, it wouldn't go anywhere. And I was like, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to get out and, I don't know, chunk rocks in the hole or something. So as I go to get out, this sweet little gentleman said, no, get back in. Just like we do this all the time. He said, we'll give you a shove, it'll be okay. So had me get back in the car. All 4 of the hikers got behind the car, gave it a little shove, and out of the hole we came. So we said they were our angels in disguise. I had no idea where they came from because we were truly in the boonies, but they were there right when we needed them. So I think the Lord knew we were going to be in a pickle and we would need some help. And so he made them decide to walk that road that morning. But anyway, we got out, went to the little village, had a fantastic day. That was our most exciting little detour incident, I guess, while I was in England. Let's see, I'm trying to look at my notes because it's been a while. The next thing I had down was just give you a little bit of a house update. I know you guys are following along. We have instructed our builder. We're going to be gone about 3 weeks for our Shaker retreat in Enfield. And I said, you've got to send us pictures because Mom and I have had so much fun. The camper is now on the land where the house is being built. And we love it when the builders come in and they have some kind of new machinery they bring. We're like little kids. We're at the window watching and seeing what's going on. And so we're watching them put this house up. And so it's now nearly completely framed. They brought a crane in today and put the joist for the ceiling on. And it's beginning to look like a house. So that's exciting news. I'll try and post some pictures on my Instagram and Facebook page so you guys can see the progress. I did say we were on our road trip again to Enfield, New Hampshire. We've stopped for we stopped last night here in Pittsford, New York, because you guys know what's in Pittsford, Hobby House, right? And I could not pass it by without stopping. So we stayed here today, kind of drove around the little town of Pittsford and went to Hobby House, of course, and did some shopping. I don't usually show haul, but I will show you what I got today at the end of the video. But they are the sweetest people, and just had a nice little visit and enjoyed meeting some other stitchers in the shop and doing a little bit of shopping myself. So it was a great day today. Now, the sampler that I want to show you this week, I think I've shown this one to you before, the original. So I'm just going to show you the model. This is a new release that I will be releasing this next week. I have an email that's going out to all the shop owners this next week showing this little sampler. And if you like it, just tell your local LNS to be sure and contact me and let me know, and I'll get some sent their way. It will also be available in a PDF version on my website. Probably by next Friday, it will be available as a PDF. And the hard copies will ship to shops probably the second week in November. So just something to be on the lookout. This sweet little sampler is one that was done by a young girl named Ann Lee Clark. Now, I don't have any information about Ann because there was no birth date. I don't know the year she was born. I just know she was 7 years old when she stitched this. So there's not any information that I have about Ann Lee Clark that I can say without a doubt this is a young girl. Because if I put this in Family Search or Ancestry, there is a bunch of Ann Lee Clarks spelled exactly the same way. So it's kind of hard for me to know for certain. So just looking at her little sampler, I was trying to think, what would Ann have been like as a young girl? First of all, the age of 7 is when she stitched this little sampler. And it is a very basic, small little, just basic marking sampler. But I think what caught my eye with this particular sampler was the verse. And I know I've talked before, when we stitch samplers, there's always something that makes us want to stitch that particular sampler. Sometimes it's the border. Sometimes it's the colors. Sometimes it's the verse or a motif that catches your eye. And so for me, this little Ann Lee Clark sampler, it was the verse that caught my eye. And it's very simple. It just says, fear God, honor your parents, and love the truth. And I think, isn't that just what the world needs? If we just did those 3 things, wouldn't it be a happier place? And, especially now with everything, I think these are 3 simple truths that we could all use and just make life a whole lot happier. So I loved her little verse at the bottom. I also got tickled because at the top, she has used every color in the rainbow. So I think Anne really enjoyed color in her sampler and used the opportunity to change up the colors as much as she could. Another little thing that I think is kind of cute, it's hard to see, I'm sure, on here, but the 4, I don't know if she ran out or she just changed her mind in the middle of it, but part of the 4 is done in a yellow and part of it in an orange color. So I left it just as she stitched it. I charted it the very same way. Another thing, and I see I need to tuck this in just a little bit at the top. This is just tucked in for now. My glue is packed in my car, so I've got to touch up the finishing when I get where I'm going. But across the top, there's a whole row of eyes. She's done eye in 2 different forms. You see the first one is just a basic long eye. This one she's added a few little extras on. And so I thought, why does she have that row of eyes across the top? And I talked to some friends, and it's like, well, that was probably her practice row. And that made sense to me. An eye would be an easy letter to practice on to start with. And so her mom probably, or whoever, maybe been an older sister, whoever was teaching her to stitch, probably had her just practice making the letter I. And she just left it and then went on with her sampler underneath that. And if you notice, her letters underneath are different. She has 2 of each letter, or for most of them, and she's done them each a little different. The A is what really stands out. She has this little tint A, and then there's another one. And you can see the B's are a little different. The C's, she's just added another stitch in this one. The D's are a little different. So she's tried to practice her letters using 2 different styles. So I thought that was cute. So just a very simple little marking sampler, but very sweet. And like I said, I love her verse at the bottom. And that was another thing. If you'll notice, fear is pretty straight. God kind of jumps up a little bit. Honor, she kind of jumps down on her O and then comes back up. I left it. This is just as the original has. And I started to correct it. And I thought, no, this is how little Ann Lee stitched the sampler. And so I want it to be as close to the original as I can. So I just left her little oops mistakes right there. So you can correct it yourself if you would like to. If that drives you nuts, and I know some people it does, don't hesitate. That won't bother me a bit. Fix that if it bothers you. But if you're like me, sometimes these little quirks is what makes the sampler, and it just makes it that much sweeter to me. So I left it in this one. And then I hesitated, and that's why this isn't glued down yet. I finished this at home, and I put it on a board from April Taylor at, she's on Etsy, Homestead Needleworkes. And April, I've used lots of her products before. They're just excellent. And as you can see, it's just a nice thick board. And she will have these in her shop. You just need to request. It's a Violets and Verses board, and she'll know which one to send you if you want to finish yours like this. It could be a cute one framed as well. But I painted it, and the paint color is Poetic Plum. I'll have that listed below, but April will also know the color of the board if you want her to finish your board for you with the paint as well. And then after I finished and put the stitching on it, I thought, you know, I saw this little green Pom Pom. Normally I probably wouldn't put that around my boards, but little Ann Lee Clark, I was thinking about her, and this is a bright, happy little color, and I think this is something, if they'd had it, she would have put it on her board because it's bright, it's kind of a fun finish, and just looking at her stitching, I think Ann was a fun little girl too. I think she would have enjoyed putting some green pom-pom around her stitching, and it matches the little green that's actually in the sampler. So that particular pom-pom color, I'll have it listed below as well, but I think it's called, I've got it over here, Lady Creates Witchie. And you can see I cut enough off to go around, and I still have all that left. So there's a lot in a bag. But this little board, like I said, you can get from April Taylor from Homestead Needleworkes. And her shop is on Etsy, or you can message her, I'm sure, on Facebook. And just tell her you need the Violets and Verses board, and she'll know what to do. The only other thing I want to do is kind of show you a little bit of what I picked up at Hobby House today. That's always kind of fun, isn't it? Mom is the first one. She bought the first thing there because she's with me. And I know when I was at the Great British Sampler Weekend, Nicola had the model of Martha Walmsley up on display, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it was absolutely stunning. And it looks like my mom's bedroom. Her colors, she loves birds, all of that. So when I got home, I said, Mom, you need to stitch this because this looks like your bedroom. So I'm sure you guys have already seen Martha Walmsley, but it's just a beautiful sampler. So Mom got it. And something that was kind of fun, she kitted it up there, and she actually got 18 count Ada to stitch it on. It's the Lollybrock Ada, and the 18 count, because that's a whole lot easier for her to see. And that's something I just want to kind of point out. Any sampler, like I stitched Ann Lee Clark on a linen, but it would be an excellent sampler because there's no specialty stitches. It would be easy to convert to Ada if you wanted to stitch it on Ada. And I know I've had a couple ladies message me and say, thank you for talking about Ada, because sometimes I feel like I can't stitch a sampler unless I stitch it on linen. And that's just not the case. Don't ever let stitching on linen keep you from being a sampler lover. Feel free. Most samplers you can simply stitch on Ada, and if Ada is easier for you to see and it makes your stitching that much more enjoyable, then use Ada. Use what you enjoy stitching on, because that's the part that's important. It's not what's everybody else stitching on. You know, well, if everybody else is stitching on 46 count, then I need to stitch on 46 count. I enjoy stitching on 46 count. But that's the key word, enjoy. What do you stitch on that you enjoy? And if it's Ada, you stitch away, because the important part is that you're having fun. So Mom's got her Ada ready for Martha Walmsley. And the floss colors, she's got those, and they are, I'm not going to take them all out, but I'll show you a peek. They're just beautiful. So she's excited. She's stitching on a Santa. She's nearly finished with him, but when we left, she's like, I just want to go ahead and start on that Martha Walmsley now. I know I need to finish that Santa, but I'm ready to start. And are you guys that way? You get something new and it's like, I don't care what I'm in the middle of, I have to put a couple stitches in the new thing. And I think we're all a little bit like that. So I told her, I said, then do it. Stitch a little bit on it. You'll enjoy it because you're anxious to start. Then I saw this, and I know this isn't a new pattern. It's just the Scarlet House Colonial Blooms. But I'm doing my bedroom in navies and reds and creams. And I thought, oh, I need to do that little pillow. Now, when I'm going to do it, I have no idea. But I think I need that in my new bedroom. Then we saw this done up, and the picture does not do it justice. It's Summer House Needleworkes, and they have inserted it in a project bag. But I think I want to frame it and put it up somewhere in my sewing room. It just says Simple Threads, and it's very sweet. And like I said, the picture doesn't do it justice, but it's a very quick little stitch, so I want to do that. Then Mom got this chart. It's just the Lord's Prayer. Isn't that pretty? And it's by Lila's Studio. Just a very pretty chart. Then I have no idea what I'm going to do with this either, but I kept going back to it and looking at it, and so I had to get it. These are little handmade ceramic buttons. And they had little pins and things as well. But I saw this particular button and it just called my name. So like I said, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it, but I gotta figure something out because I love that button. And then I bought some linen and some threads. This is for a future class project. I can't tell you what it is yet, but I do love the colors. So I got that future model kitted up today, so I'm super excited. So that's my haul from Hobby House. I could have done a whole lot more damage. They just have so much, and it's just a lot to look at, but I enjoyed every bit of my shopping there. So anyway, I think that's all I have for you guys today. I will come with another video next Sunday. And I'm telling you that, so I'll stick with it. And I'll be in Enfield at the Shaker Dwelling House. So that will be kind of fun. I'm just in a hotel room here, so I don't have anything exciting behind me for you to look at. But when I'm at Enfield next Sunday and doing my video, I'll try and stage it to where you can see some of the Shaker Dwelling House, and maybe perhaps do a little tour of some of the things that's there that you might enjoy seeing. In the meantime, thank you again for sticking with me and waiting patiently while life was crazy and busy this whole past month. And I'll try and get back on track with my weekly videos. And until then, you guys have an absolutely fabulous week. Take care. Take a little bit of time to stitch. Be sure and like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And tell your friends if they like to watch Flosstube. Be sure and share my channel with them, and I would appreciate it. So thank you very much, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.